ADR, this is King Black. I do not, or I regretfully, reluctantly want to tell this story because once again, I was being dumb. And this is why I personally always carry, no matter where I'm at. And that's why I like to carry. It doesn't matter who I'm around, right? Friend, significant other, whatever, strangers. I gotta protect myself because I see things other people don't. I get vibes that other people seemingly ignore or think ain't nothing gonna happen, or you're thinking too much, or you're paranoid. So let me tell you this story. I really don't want to because it's kind of dumb. It's a little bit adult related, right? So hopefully there's no kids watching this video anyway. But it's a short story, but it's important. So once again, I'm at the local park. Okay, it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock. It's not even that late. But now that it's fall, it's starting to get dark early. So I meet up with this person in separate cars. I have my car, she got her car. She pulls up, she leaves a parking space between her car and my car. So I go to her car, we're talking, blah, 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 blah. Then we do some teenage, Romeo and Juliet stuff. We go in the back seat, right? Some things happen there, whatever like that. And then as things are finishing up, a car pulls in and it's like 9 o'clock, right? It's completely dark. There's no other cars at the park. And out of all the spaces, there's about 200 feet worth of parking spaces. They had to park right next to her car. Two Hispanic males, not part of my organization, in the vehicle. It's dark. They can't see in the car because she has tint. But we can see their car. They get out, you can hear them talking, they're smoking, they're smoking that green leaf, you know what I mean? Smoking that MJ. They go to the bench because there's a bench nearby. They're over there. They're just chatting up, going back to their car, going back out, going back to their car, going back out. This keeps going for about half an hour. But as soon as they parked next to her car, I already had the bad vibe. And on me, I didn't have my protection because she's a little bit iffy about that, right? And normally I don't care, but she's responsible for the first story time that I had that I almost freaking got with her. Didn't learn my damn lesson. So I told her as soon as they park, I'm going to go out because I need to go be where my protection's at. And then she was like, no, like stay here. Like they're not going to do anything, or they don't know that we're here. So just, chill out. We'll wait till they leave. And in my mind, I'm like, man, it's only 9 o'clock in my head. I don't tell her this because I'm trying to be quiet because they don't know. And I don't have nothing on me. So we're the only people at the park right now in vehicles, right? So if they want to do something, I got nothing, right? It's just me versus two. And if they got something, my firearm is in my car 10 feet away. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Flash. So anyways, instead of just going ahead and saying, no, I'm going to do it anyway, I need to go over there right now when they just got there and they don't suspect anything. But she convinces me not to do so. So we stay there, we wait. She falls asleep. I'm not sleeping. I'm over here listening and just watching in the darkness and stuff, being some kind of creeper, right? And we're not in the front seat, obviously, because like I said, we were being Romeo and Juliet kind of stuff, so stuff was happening in the back. So we're both in the back seat, clothed and everything, right? So about half an hour passes by, 45 minutes. They keep walking around, and then I hear them go off to the trail, and I see one of them come back, and I see one of those wearing a white shirt. And I didn't see my car is in the darkness, but I didn't see him pull the handles of my car or anything like that. I was watching, my car was locked anyway, and my alarm would have gone off. So he didn't do anything to me. He walked behind her car, and keep in mind all the windows are fogged up and tinted, so what are they going to see in the back? They can't see nothing. So they keep chatting. Another 20 minutes happen. Then all of a sudden, She's still asleep and she's on my freaking lap. And I don't know how this chick with the situation going down is asleep. Especially when I've explained to her, man, a lot of times you gotta be aware. She doesn't belong to the lifestyle. She doesn't belong to an organization. She's just a civilian, right? But regardless, I'm like, even if it ain't about no organizational stuff, you just gotta keep your head on a swivel. And when there's bad people around, just things are gonna happen. So anyways, give me a second, Jerson. So then, one of them comes back, the one in the white shirt, he comes back mad quick to the direction of the vehicles where we're at. And then he starts yanking on her driver's door. She wakes up and she's like, what is that? What is that? I said, they just try to open your car door. She's like, no, but why would they do something like that? What? That is one, listen, that right there, if that's not a red flag to stay away from people like that, there you go right there. Well, her reaction to that, to saying, yo, they just try to open your front door, and instead of her saying, what do we do? Or how are we going to get out of here? Her first response is, well, why would they do that? I don't know. Let me open the door and ask them. You know what I mean? So I told her, this is why I wanted to go to my car as soon as they pulled in. Because something seemed off. Like I said, out of all the spaces they could have parked at, if they were just there to party and smoke it up, they had to park next to her car. 2 cars in the dark, you know? So anyways, this time she's like, okay, what do you want me to do? So I told her, I said, I need you to get in the front seat, get ready to put your key in the ignition, and as soon as you're ready to go, like as soon as you're ready to turn that thing on, I'm going to hop out the back and run to my car that's right there, because I don't know if they're armed or what. And I'm going to grab my stuff in case I got to handle business. And then at first she was thinking about it. She didn't know. She's like, okay. So at this point, both of them have returned to their car. They're just sitting there because, like I said, the guy had tried to open up her driver door in like 5 seconds. Yanked it pretty hard, so I know he was trying to get in. He sat down in the passenger seat of that car that was next door. She slowly moves to the front. And I guess they saw the movement, or they saw the shadow from the back to the front, so they realized somebody was in there. So then this mofo opens the passenger door, and then he starts knocking on her driver's window. Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? And just repeating that, knocking on the window. And then so once again, here's another red flag. She looks at me. He still doesn't know I'm in the back seat. She looks at me, or she says to me, what do you want me to do? You want me to lower the window? Hell to the fuck. Do I not want you to lower down the window? And the whole time that she's asking me this, I'm looking at his hands, because at this point, because I don't have my protection on me, I'm like, either this is going to go one of 2 ways. So I'm looking at his hands. They're empty. Because I'm like, if he's got a gun, I'm at the mercy of these mofos, right? Because, I mean, I'm not... Even Bruce Lee said it himself, you know, just... If it's against a gun, you're going to lose, you know what I mean? Because they got the drop on you. And they're not going to wait for me to go to my car and get whatever. So I'm over here just planning different things in my head. All right, where do I hide my keys? In her car. So that way they can't get in my car and they can't take my own stuff. And then where do I hide my wallet? Or do I just take the cash out and stuff it somewhere and then just give them my wallet? You know what I mean? But I'm like, hell no, you don't open the window. And I said, don't even say anything. Because that should be a red flag to them if she's not responding to leave us alone. But he's just standing there knocking on the window. But then I told her at that moment, after like the 3rd or 4th time him asking that, all right, turn on your car now, I'm going. So as soon as she hit that button and she turned the headlights, his homie that was the driver just got out and went to the bench. And I popped the back door open. I don't think they were expecting for her to have somebody else in there either. So as soon as I opened that back door, that one guy went to the bench. I don't know what he was doing. He wasn't getting anything. I went straight to my car, didn't look back. I unlocked it as soon as I opened her back door. Jumped in my driver's seat, got my thing where I keep it at, and I had it in my hand, turn on my car, lock my door, turn on the car, and I was staring at them the whole time. I put my stuff in reverse. She was already backed out. But her dumbass, I told her, as soon as you turn on your car, you just go. You know, you just reverse and go. Don't wait for me. She pulls out. She's like behind their car. She's just sitting there till I pull my car out. And then I'm looking at them the whole time. The guy's still standing outside the car, but he was just like looking at her like, okay, okay, like if they weren't planning to do anything, right? And I'm looking at them the whole time, and I didn't flash. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a firearm for protection, you don't want to escalate the situation unless you need to. So I had it in my hands. I don't know if they knew what I had, but I had my hand on my legs as I'm backing out the car, and I'm just keeping an eye on them because I'm like, if I see a firearm or they start doing some kind of movement, you know, I got to handle business. So we both pull out. They turn on their car with the headlights, but they stay there. So I don't know if they just got scared because they didn't know that there was two people in that vehicle. They just, first they thought it was empty. Then when he tried to open the door and she moved to the front, then they realized there was somebody in there. So they're trying to play it off because I'm pretty sure they were thinking, because from the time that he tried to open the door to the time that I told her to move to the front, it was about 2 minutes. So maybe they thought they woke her up and then he was going to play it off like he was just checking on her. But no, that's not what it was. So then we both leave out the park, and I'm looking at my rearview mirror because once again, you always got to keep your head on a swivel, man. Don't pretend you're safe until you're completely out of the situation. So we're driving out the park, and I'm keeping my eyes in my rearview mirror as we're slowly creeping out to see if they're going to follow, because if they're going to follow, then I'm going to have to diagonally park my car and just do whatever I got to do, right? But that didn't happen. They just sat there with the headlights on. So I'm pretty sure they got shook once they saw me jump out. And not because they're intimidated by me or whatever, but due to the fact that they weren't expecting people to be in that car, right? They just thought probably we left them there overnight and we had gone somewhere else, or there was nobody there. Like, you know, sometimes people just leave their car at random places and then they come back for it later. Maybe the car broke down or whatever, right? So then she calls me as we're on the highway. She's like, that was crazy, right? I was like, yeah, that was crazy. That's exactly the type of situation that I'll be telling you about. That's why I always carry. And then she's like, well, you know, good thing nothing happened. I'm like, listen, man, if it wasn't for the fact that I have that street smarts and I have that mentality and I have something to protect myself in, we are at the mercy of whatever. Like if I was Joe Blow, right? If I was Joe Smith or John Smith, a complete civilian, and I had her same mentality, we both would have been shook. And then we would have been the type of white people or whatever. And she's not white anyway, she's Hispanic. But my point is, and I'm sorry to put this racist, but you know what I'm trying to say. Innocent, naive people, we both would have rolled down the window, and then who knows what would have happened. You know what I'm saying? I told her, like, yeah, like when you asked me that was a dumb question. Because what if you would have rolled down the window? He would have reached in there to open the door. He would have grabbed your neck so that way you open the door. Said, nah, that thought shouldn't have even occurred through your head to even say something like that. And then she was like, well, you know, that just means we can't go to that park anymore. I said, nah, I know this area is hot. I already told you. I said, that's why I always carry, you know, because the situation's like that. And when I get that vibe, you got to let me do what I got to do. I said, that's why when they first parked, I wanted to get out. Oh, but, you know, that's crazy. Why would they do something like that? Again, she was with that. Why would they do something like that? Bro, I'm not going to ask. Obviously, they thought they were opportunists. They just saw cars there and they thought it was an easy look. They thought it was unguarded. They thought there was nobody in there. They just thought it was easy. Because then the whole time that we were in the back seat anyway, her freaking phone was glowing like it once every 5 minutes. So they probably wanted to break in there to steal her phone, without knowing that anybody was in there. Had I had my stuff on me in the backseat, I would have been chill, because had they made their way into the car, he would have opened that door straight into the barrel of a Glock, you know what I mean? Then he would have either backed up or he would have gotten one in the chest, right? But Or if I was, because like I said, I don't advocate criminal activity. If that was their mindset, if I could have grabbed my stuff and just robbed them, because I was like, yo, you already showed you're willing to rob us, so I have protection. So whether or not they do or not, now the table's flipped. Like, give me what you got. Give me your keys. Toss that thing 100 yards away. Take whatever they got and dip. But I didn't, because I'm not. The criminal mentality. And two, my thought was get her the heck out of there, because she's just a civilian and she don't know nothing. Apparently, she's a deer in the headlights. And three, for my own personal safety, because I'm like, she gonna get me got. So I was let's just get out of here. So moral of the story is, if you carry, always carry, because you don't know what's gonna happen. Even though I did some dumb stuff, like I said, it was 9 o'clock at night. It wasn't midnight. It wasn't 2 a.m. And it was at sort of a public park where there's a lot of cars traveling through one of the main roads. But this happened. So this could happen to you in a Walmart parking lot. This could happen to you anywhere else, man. People will be trying things. People are opportunists. So I wanted to share this story time as reluctantly to show myself as even I make mistakes, because I let a female get in my head and not do what was in my heart to do. Because, like I said, had their mindset been different, I would have been a victim, because there would have been nothing I could have done. And then I would have had to be very creative about where I put my keys and lie and say, that's not my car. I don't know. It's just her car. We came here. Because like I said, I know where my stuff is at. And if they go searching through my car and they find it, now they got my stuff too. And I got no way to defend myself. But anyways, let me know what you think about this dumb situation below. I mean, a lot of people say, why didn't you just go to a hotel, blah, blah, blah. But hey, man, when you're young, you just create experiences and memories, you know what I mean? And I still consider myself young, even if I'm in my 30s. But anyways, ADR, this is King Black, out.